The Vraxian interrogation chamber fell silent as the plasma bolt struck Cadet Marcus Webb square in the chest. Lieutenant Kira Thompson watched in frozen horror as her partner collapsed, his body hitting the metal floor with a sickening thud. The three Vraxian soldiers lowered their weapons, mandibles clicking in satisfaction. "Your species is weak," Commander Thexal hissed, his translucent skin pulsing with bioluminescent satisfaction. "You will tell us the location of your fleet's command station, or you will join him." Kira's hands trembled against the energy restraints binding her to the wall. 23 years old, fresh from the academy, and she'd just watched her best friend die because he refused to betray Earth's military secrets. Marcus had been braver than she ever imagined possible. But then she noticed something strange. The pooling blood beneath Marcus's body, it wasn't spreading naturally. It was moving with purpose, flowing back toward the wound, defying gravity and physics itself. "I said, you will tell us," Thexal began, but stopped mid-sentence. Marcus's fingers twitched. The Vraxians raised their weapons again, confusion rippling across their features. Kira's breath caught in her throat as Marcus's chest began to rise and fall. The massive wound in his torso started to close, flesh knitting together with an audible crackling sound that made even the battle-hardened alien step backward. "What manner of—" Thexal never finished the sentence. Marcus's eyes snapped open, glowing with an eerie silver light that hadn't been there before. In one fluid motion impossible for a human, he was on his feet. The Vraxians fired again, 3 plasma bolts that should have vaporized him. Marcus moved faster than Kira's eyes could track, his body flowing like liquid mercury between the deadly beams. His hand shot out, crushing the nearest soldier's weapon into slag. The Vraxian barely had time to shriek before Marcus's other hand found its throat. There was a terrible crack, and the alien crumpled. "Marcus?" Kira whispered, but the thing wearing her friend's face didn't respond. The remaining 2 Vraxians unleashed everything they had. Energy blasts, projectile rounds, even a neurotoxin grenade. Marcus walked through it all like a man strolling through morning fog. His movements were precise, economical, utterly inhuman. Within 15 seconds, both soldiers lay motionless on the floor. Commander Thexal backed against the far wall, his bioluminescence flickering in terror. "You're not human," he gasped. "What are you?" Marcus, or whatever he had become, tilted his head at an unnatural angle. When he spoke, his voice held harmonics that shouldn't exist in a human throat. "We've been waiting. Watching. Your species attacks humans unprovoked, and now you'll learn why that was a mistake." "Mercy," Thexal began, but there was no mercy in those silver eyes. 30 seconds after the first shot was fired, the interrogation chamber doors burst open. Vraxian reinforcements poured in, weapons ready, only to freeze at the sight before them. Lieutenant Kira Thompson stood there, covered head to toe in purple Vraxian blood, her restraints shattered at her feet. In her hands, held aloft like a trophy, was Commander Thexal's severed head, his eyes still wide with final horror. But it was Marcus who made them hesitate. He stood behind Kira, perfectly clean, perfectly calm, those silver eyes surveying the new arrivals with ancient patience. "Marcus?" Kira finally managed to ask, her voice shaking. "What are you?" He smiled then, and it was Marcus's smile, warm and familiar. "Your friend. Always your friend, Kira. But I'm also your species insurance policy. Humanity was never as alone as you thought." The silver in his eyes faded, replaced by familiar brown. "Now," he said, his voice returning to normal, "I suggest we negotiate a ceasefire. Because there are millions more like me, hidden among your population, and we really don't want to reveal ourselves. But we will protect our adopted home." The Vraxian soldiers lowered their weapons. The war ended 3 days later.